So picture this, right? You studied physics for like 6 months.
Oh yeah, you know the laws of motion inside out.
Exactly. But the person grading your board exam, they are going to decide your fate in exactly 90 seconds.
90 seconds. I mean, that is literally all the time they have.
It's terrifying. And if you're a student or a parent gearing up for board exams, you know that absolute agony of getting a score back and thinking, wait, where did those marks actually go?
Right, because you know the material.
Yeah. So today we're doing a deep dive into this brilliant article by veteran educator Prof. Dr. S. Balaji. And he actually solves this exact mystery.
He really does. Why do students who know the material cold still completely bomb the test?
Well, it turns out the gap between your knowledge and your score, it isn't about your brain power at all. It's entirely about what is actually on that page.
Yeah, because evaluators, they're sprinting through these papers, like we said, 90 seconds. They aren't sitting back subjectively judging how smart your physics concepts sound.
No, they literally don't have the time for that.
No. Exactly. They're running a mechanical checklist, basically hunting for very specific value points.
It's less like explaining physics to a human and honestly more like programming a computer. I mean, if you miss a single line of code, even if the overall software works perfectly in your head.
The compiler throws an error.
Right. Which completely explains why, after the 2025 CBSE Physics paper, students were literally crying at exam centers.
Oh, it was brutal. The paper was packed with these multi-step application-based questions.
Yeah.
And these kids, they knew the physics, but they just couldn't format the code, so to speak, for the examiner to actually read it.
And the crazy part, the real irony here, is that being a high achiever can actually hurt you. Like Dr. Balaji points out that rigorous prep for highly competitive engineering tests, like India's JGE.
Right, where you have to be incredibly fast.
Yeah, it trains you to jump steps. You do the math in your head to save time, but on a board exam, doing the math in your head gets you penalized.
Because you only get marks for the journey, not just the destination.
Exactly. It's like telling a joke but skipping the setup because, well, the setup is obvious to you, but the examiner can't read your mind.
That is a perfect analogy. And once you view the exam through that journey lens, you really start seeing the traps. Like, let's walk through the 4 black holes of marks.
The black holes, right. Where do the marks actually disappear?
So, say a student tackles a standard 3-mark circuit derivation. They look at the problem, they instantly see the solution, and they dive straight into the calculation. Boom. 1 mark lost immediately.
Wait, immediately? Why?
Because they didn't write down the base formula.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the first black hole, the invisible formula. You might think, oh, writing V equals I times R is way too basic.
Right, like it's just assumed.
But the grading rubric literally assigns a point just for putting that starting formula on the paper.
So you have to write it. Okay, what's the second black hole?
Then comes the derivation itself. The student jumps from step A to step C because step B is, obvious to them.
Right, the JEE training kicking in.
Exactly. That's the second black hole. Jumping steps. Yeah. The examiner cannot assume you know step B. If it is not written, it doesn't exist.
Got it. Okay, so next, let's say our student draws a flawless circuit diagram. They use a sharp pencil. It looks like an absolute masterpiece, but they leave off the labels. Or, I don't know, maybe they write the labels in pencil too.
0 marks for the diagram.
And 0, just for using pencil for the labels.
Yeah, because evaluators scan these papers rapidly. Pencil drawings, they smudge, they fade, or they just don't show up clearly on digital scans at all.
Oh, that makes sense.
So if you don't use a sharp pen to write bold, undeniable labels and arrows, the examiner's eyes just won't catch them. They aren't going to squint to find your hidden genius,
That is such a good tip. Okay, so finally, the student gets the perfect final answer.
Yeah.
Say a velocity of 50, but they forget the meters per second at the end.
Yep, the 4th black hole, missing units. The evaluator just flags the answer as incomplete.
That is so frustrating. But hold on, if they are checking boxes for every tiny step like this, isn't the natural strategy to just word vomit on the page?
Oh, no.
Shouldn't I just write down every single physics fact I know just to be absolutely safe?
Absolutely not. I mean, you aren't padding the answer with fluff. You just need to match the output to the marks assigned.
Okay, so how does that work in practice?
Well, a 2-mark question requires 2 distinct logical points. A 5-mark derivation requires all 5 steps to be clearly visible.
I see.
You're just making the underlying logic explicit. You're not writing a novel.
So basically, if you're a student losing 15 to 20 marks on practice tests, you need to take a deep breath. You aren't failing at physics. You are just failing at formatting.
Exactly. And the fix is just to practice your output. Like, stop solving numericals in your head while staring at the textbook.
Right, actually write them down.
Yes. Write out the formula, the substitution, the calculation, and the final answer with units on actual paper. You have to build that muscle memory.
That is such practical advice. And, as you're doing that, think about how this output over input rule applies way beyond high school exams.
Oh, 100%.
Because someday you'll be in a career where you have this brilliant idea for a project, but doing brilliant work in your head won't matter if you can't clearly communicate those steps to your team.
Yeah, the world, much like that board examiner, only gives you about 90 seconds to prove your point.
Exactly. So don't skip the setup. Show them your work.